Hey, it's me RJB, and I'm back. Oh yeah, it's time for some of that goodness that you've all been waiting for. Some of that fastest map that I've been all too eager to bring to you and entertain you with. And today we've got a match between Minchul and Mong. Mong is a really strong and very good Terran player. From the normal maps, he's pretty much a pro player and has achieved some pretty damn good stuff. So you can expect his game sense and his knowledge to be off the charts. Pretty much, it doesn't get any better than this. Although it does, but it's hard to quantify. A little bit of difference there at the top. Could have given him a 98. Then I would have to give Minchul less as well, although he is specialized in fastest maps. So then, it kind of evens out, so to speak. So we've got Minchul there with a pretty impressive Protoss and a pretty impressive Terran for fastest map, whereas of course Mong maxes out on the Terran stat and is a 97 on the Protoss, 94 on the Zerg, because of course he has less experience on the Zerg, and Zerg on fastest map is a completely different thing than it is on the normal maps. Their speed is about likewise, their macro is about likewise, and their micro of course slightly favored for Mong. So I think we've gone through every single little stat there on the list. So it's time to start off with this game. Well, it's not going to be a game, it's going to be a series between these two players. Also, I'm going to phase out the background music. Well, I kind of like it. I'm going to keep it up for a little while longer. Hope it isn't too loud. I honestly hope it isn't too loud. So yeah, here we have Minchul on the top right of the map. We've got Mong here on the other side of the map playing the yellow Terran. So we're in a little bit of a cross-map situation here. Hope this is going to be good. I hope this is going to be interesting. Because you quite never know. Sometimes even two players who are among the top 5 of the fastest map 1 versus 1 players of all time, even they can sometimes have snooze fests of a game. But I hope this is not one of them. I sincerely hope this is one of those good ones. So here Mong already finds his opponent Minchul here on the top corner with that Marine, but he cannot attack those cannons because of course probes are on the way to try and stop all this from happening, but he pulls back and regroups with his Marine as SV to try and get some damage down on the cannons there in the front. Minchul of course already retreats back his probes because he knows that Mong cannot kill those cannons quick enough. But he will be forced to use some of his probes here to try and get us around on those Marines there that manage to sneak in, which is quite painful here for Minchul because now he has, I think, about 7 SCVs, 7 probes, not mining minerals, but he gets a pretty good surround on those Marines, and I think he loses only about 2 or 3 of his probes. No, he loses only 1. So pretty well played there from Minchul. So while that was happening, Mong discontinued Marine production and added on a command center, added on an academy, and I think another command center is in the works soon as well, because he's very close to being able to afford it. Whereas his SV there is just getting information, keeping himself informed on what's happening here. He's got a cyber core already there and a second gateway, which is kind of early. Also went for a single assimilator instead of 2 right off the bat, so he's up to something slightly different than the conventional. Usually you see, of course, 2 assimilators right about the same timing as the cybernetics core is thrown down, but everything has been thrown off by just a little bit. Of course, the SCV there still running around, Zealous still chasing, but more interestingly, no third command center for Mong. He did finish the academy there, now adding on engineering bay, has that factory there on the way, Marines there in the front. And there's a Dragoon there made purely to kill that SCV and prevent information from leaking into the wrong hands. And now I'm gonna turn on the background music. I kinda like it, but it's getting a little bit obnoxious, so be gone background music. And let's tune in to the game music. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Alright, so the Dragoon there meets Marines, can't really do anything except have a standoff where neither player dares pull the trigger. Although those Marines are stronger than the Dragoon, Dragoon Micro with, well, there's no range on either yet. But Dragoon Micro is quite deadly, even if as a single Dragoon he might be able to kill 2 Marines. And it's not an exchange Mong wants to go into right now because he doesn't have to. He can just wait for units to come and arrive from the base before going for that frontal attack right here. He's balling up, he scans the choke there. Wants to know how many cannons there are and whether he can go in or not. He stims up, heals his marines, goes in for the attack, and there he goes. The attack happens. Sorry, my mouse was on the top of my screen. He goes in, gets a couple of kills on the cannons, loses a couple of marines, but it looks like he'll break through here. One cannon remaining. Dragoon there not assisting, although he could, but there's no purpose in doing so. He goes for the pylon next because he wants to stop these two robos from finishing what's in there, which now forces Minchul to come in with Zealots from the back and Dragoon from the back there as well. He might actually kill this, but the micro here from Mong is absolutely amazing. Marine micro there. I guess the pylon down, the pylon being constructed, but he's going to ignore it and going to chase those Zealots and the Dragoon there on the side. Cannons being built all over Minchul's base because cannons has finished there in the back. He's got Dark Templars on the way because he finished a Templars archive because he was forced to make one to adapt to the situation. His two robots in front are repowered right about now. Marines there are going to pull back. And he is, I think, going to kill that pylon before the Dark Templars arrive from the back. But he's first going to have to micro away from the Zealots to try and kill it. And he discontinues his... No, he goes right back in because he sees a mistake there from Minchul as he pulls back, thinking he's safe, but down goes the pylon, and the delay is once again enforced, and more Marines arrive there on the scene. Does he have a scan in his base? He has a scan in his base, so in the case Dark Templars finish, he can scan those Dark Templars and go for the kill. Tank already arrived there on the scene. This is amazing aggression here from Mong. Dark Templars are arriving. He doesn't have to scan. He didn't use this. He uses the scan immediately and loses only a single Marine to the Dark Templar as he steps backwards, and he throws out a turret there in the choke as well. And Minchul is certainly looking at a pretty difficult situation, although another Dark Templar has arrived here and he doesn't have to scan energy this time around, so he's going to lose the SV there in the back before he finishes the turret, and that will secure and save Minchul's life here. And he no longer is under the threat of Marines and tanks streaming in, although he's buying time for the scan. Going to the side, but the scan energy has not yet reached its point where he can use it. So instead he decides to just lose his units there and buy himself as much time as he can. Tank there also going to go down. So he took down two robos, a bunch of cannons, a bunch of units. A lot of disruption here from Mong, slowing down his opponent, and the tank drop already coming in over across the map, and there's fire bats in there as well. But there's 4 cannons here on the minerals for Minchul, so it might not work unless he unloads here right in the top corner. But the question is whether he can arrive and reach it or not. And I don't think Minchul is going to keep his minerals, his probes on the minerals there, so he's not going to lose any probes here. I think he got about 2 or 3 kills there with the tank drop, not that much. Dark Templar goes down there in the front, where a new choke is already being built. And we can really see that normal map expertise from Mong, his control, his multitasking, his micro, really paying off. And he goes in with the fire bat drop, and the fire bat's going to get some kills on the probe, and he kills about 15 probes there from Minchul. So eventually this gets some results with the drop there. Amazing little stim move and load there. Very cheeky, and also very smart. And in the end, it all ended up working out just perfectly fine. Although now he's staring down a barrel of 4 robos. Robo sitting there in the back. He might already have finished his speed upgrade for his shuttles. He's got Templars there in the front as well. Didn't see whether he got Storm upgrade, but I assume he has it. He has air armor and weapon upgrade on the way. Of course, air armor for shuttles to fly in and not go down immediately. Also to keep the courses alive a little bit longer. Instead of having them go down immediately, he is now on 8 gateways, whereas Mong is on 3 factories, 3 starports, 6 barracks, so he's really committing to making a lot of Marines to snipe shuttles with. That's a pretty good choice if you have the awareness and the control to make the most of it, because you don't want to lose your Marines to storms or to rivers instantly. You gotta split them up. Mong's one of the players who has the skills to do it. Also has raids already finished to snipe shuttles as they're flying, and he scans. What did he see? I can't see it because there's a bug with the interface. He has his raids there on the top side. No, he scanned this portion. No, he scans this, and he immediately goes into intercept the shuttles. But he's misclicking for once, so storm's gonna come down on his minerals, and Mong actually loses most of the SCVs there because he didn't have them hotkey, didn't pull them away in time. He assumed he could have it all. He could survive it without having to pull off, but a little bit lazy there from Mong. Even though he has vision here to dodge his SCVs too, he didn't do it correctly. So actually after that amazing early game from Mong, he kind of flubs it on the return, on the rebound, and the rebound there successful for Minchul. So now Minchul is in the driver's seat. He's got Dark Archon there, in the front, but I hope he doesn't use it. He does have mind control there on the way. He's got a shuttle drop there flying over the map, preparing himself to fly in. Raids are a little bit mislocated. He's repairing the raids though with his SCVs. Not sure if that's the smartest move given he has so few of them SCVs. Waits for more shuttles to load up. Has his Dark Archon in there as well. It's a lot of shuttles here coming cross map from Minchul. And the second one is already being loaded. It's already being prepared here, adding more cannons to the front there. It's mostly just focusing on his shuttle storms and his shuttle mass drops to get stuff done. Although raids here arriving on the scene, ready to snipe those shuttles. Takes 1 down, takes 2 down, takes 3 down, takes 4 down, takes 5 down. And none of them actually arrive on the scene because he also flew straight over those Marines and he target fired with both the shuttles, with both the raids and the Marines, and took down all the shuttles within the blink of an eye and keeps his workers alive. This time around, makes no mistakes, and he already goes on the hunt with those raids across the map, looking for shuttles to kill, but no shuttles have spawned yet. Instead, Reavers are spawning, but there's nothing here for him to kill except that probe there on the side. Maybe get that Reaver there with some Wraith Micro. He gets it, and he's gonna run away immediately, I assume, because there's not much to kill. Oh wait, is he gonna go for the Templar? Storms there, dodges the storm expertly. It has 3 storms there in total. There's 1 more in the tank, and there's 2 Corsairs there. And the low HP raids are not that great, even if it's only against 2 Corsairs with 6 raids. The raids would go down quicker than the Corsairs because the Corsairs have AoE damage and it stacks and it speeds up. And the raids were kind of stacked, so he pulls them back to base and is probably gonna repair them once again and just keep them on low HP. He's managed to recover quite well, because Minchul's follow-up drop was simply way too slow. But I think he's going to go for a frontal drop here, because this is only 3 shuttles and a couple of Reavers. So I think that's what he's going to do. He's not going to go for the main. I think he's going to go drop right here, because this is quite weak. And I think Minchul saw it earlier that the choke here is not that well fortified. But there's a little bit of a chance he's not going for that option. So more scans coming out from Minchul. He scans this portion there because he's got a tank drop on the way. But Minchul actually, by pure coincidence, almost finds it. And the Mong, knowing that those courses were there because he scanned the entire base, pulls back and waits a little bit longer. He might even fly all the way around and go from this angle. But Minchul heard the scans, so he's throwing out a lot of cannons, knowing that tank drops are a viable option. And he wants to protect himself from it. Also adds a 3rd Nexus there to fill out these remaining 3 gazers. He's going to need 4 carriers or whatever he's going to do. He's up to something. He's got upgrades for ground on the way. Shield and weapon. He already has level 1 armor and level 1 weapon finished up. Raids there, ready to intercept those shuttles, but he actually misses it by just a little bit. So now the shuttles are going to come in. He already has his Marines steering up to the top side there, but he won't be able to snipe any of these courses that are going for the raids. Raids have gone down. Now mass unloading here on top of the command center. There's a lot of bunkers there though, which are definitely going to help him keep his command center alive, and he doesn't lose all that many of his SCVs and doesn't even get that much damage down on the command center because those bunkers here helped him a lot, and the Marines stemming in from the back helped him a lot. Also 2 tanks here. Now the repair come down on the command center, and now also the dropships coming down, well, coming up from the bottom of the map, flying into the top side of the map, trying to get a tank drop down on his opponent. But first he's not a tank drop. It's not a tank drop, instead he's going for some hill abuse here to occupy Minchul with something else that he wants to be occupied with. But Corsairs there to take down those dropships. Storms going down on the tanks. Tanks going down rather quick, and now there's 2 Goliaths stuck there up on the hill. And they gotta go down to the, well, almost go down to the Storm. Because the Storm deals about 112 damage. As you can see right there, 13 and 13 is exactly 112 actually. And he's already flying out with another set of tanks to put them up on the hill to keep annoying and distracting Minchul from his intended goal, which is to attack and assault, which is completely being disrupted here because tanks up on the hill, tanks going on the low ground here as well. He's going to try to drop them right here to get tank shots off. No, he's going to drop them there in the top corner, try to get tank shots off on the workers. Although, there's nothing in there, is there? There's nothing in the... Ooh, he managed to unload right there, right before they went down, and he's shooting, but he doesn't get a shot off on the probes. The probes, wait, is he gonna get it? He doesn't get it, almost got the cannon there though, but the disruption at the moment didn't yield all that much fruit, it just slowed Minchul down. which in itself is actually already a great advantage he built himself, because Minchul's base is rather small. It's only on 11 gateways, 4 robos, a lot of Corsairs, and 4 Stargates in fact. He does have an Arbiter on the way, but he has no Arbiter upgrades yet. He's got a Dark Archon there in the mix as well, but no... Well, no, the Dark Archon went down, it appears. He's gonna try to recall it, I'm sure, so he's gonna try again. But it looks like he's taking too much time, because Mong has his base almost finished. 6 factors there in the front. I think he's gonna add 3 more for a total of 12, maybe go for even more than that. And yeah, he's got every single upgrade there on the way. And this is also what I meant with games can somewhat turn into snooze fests, because not much is happening. Although a lot is happening, but it's not straight up mass into mass attacking. Once again, mass drop coming in here from Minchul right on top of the command center, right on top of the SCVs. And might he get it this time around? He's going to get the command center this time around. He gets a great surround there with all the Zealots there on the command center. The command center losing HP very quickly. Tanks are helping. The Zealots taking it down, but he's getting a repair down on the command center. But the command center is going to go down, it appears. Look at this. The command center goes down just within the nick of time. And he clears out all the remaining units there as well. But these tanks here up on the hill are clearing out the front here from Minchul, who's now trying to use actually pretty good use of the Arbiter invisibility. Keep those Reavers there safe. But I think Mong knows that now is the time to go for the attack, because Minchul just lost his entire mass. And I think Mong also knows about the layout of Minchul's base, how many gateways he has, how many Stargates he has, what his remassing ability is. And I think he's going to add more gateways, because he's going to need more gateways very soon, very rapidly. Although Zealots here are loaded up on the hill to clear out those tanks, but I think he's going to get all those tanks, with more tanks already being unloaded on the other hill. The lights on the hill as well to stop shuttles from unloading on the hill. Great move there from Mong. Actually using one of the strengths of Terran on these fastest map maps to its fullest extent, which is hill abuse. And Minchul doesn't have that many shuttles left, so he's going to have some troubles fighting against his tanks up on the hill, but he might just do it because he does have that Arbiter, which might help him secure safety. But first, going to have to send out all of those Zealots, which are actually not that great in number, because his gateway count is simply too low. I'm kind of disappointed in Minchul's base building ability this game around, although he did get abused and harassed by Mong a lot. And Mong has played this more impressively and more expertly, in my opinion. Yes, of course, he is the Terran expert, but Minchul did get that command center eventually, which does give him some points in my opinion. So tanks there unloading up on the low ground. A really nice unload there, by the way. Using a move and unload technique. The Zealots being unloaded up on the tanks. Stations there up on the hill. Vessels have arrived on the scene. And yeah, more units are spawning from Minchul here, but he is not maxing out because, as I mentioned earlier, he doesn't have that many gateways. He got 5 here, 5 there for 10, 12, 14, because he's also losing gateways at the same time. He does have a couple of Reavers and Zealots in the back, but Mong is pressing forward. Takes down the Arbiter, gonna take down the shuttle there as well to deny dropping up on the hill. The micro here on display from Mong is amazing. He's really doing great, started stepping forward, great focus, great multitasking, not making any mistakes here, and is forcing Minchul in a very precarious situation where Minchul is pretty much in a position where he cannot really do much, because those tanks are up on the hill and the Goliaths are making life miserable for him. Do note that the reinforcements from Mong are a little bit slow because he's deciding to pick them up with dropships instead of just sending them into the combat zone. Though the dropships flying over might be faster, but there's of course also loading time, which might slow it down. The Zealots coming in here from Minchul. He cannot load up on the hill because there's nothing to help him get on top of the hill, but Mong does have another load of drops of tanks, Goliaths there coming up onto the hill. All these here on the ground have been taken down, but new units are simply being unloaded right next to the hill, where he's the strongest because he's got tanks upon the hill, but Minchul is making a proxy gateway base here on the middle of the map, knowing he needs more gateways, and knowing he cannot build them in his own base. It's all going to come down to whether Mong knows this is happening or not. Did he see it happen? He's scouting the map, he saw it happen. I think he saw the probe leave the base, now he's moving downwards. I think he was just scouting the map to make sure that nothing was happening, because he knows that Minchul's base is rather small. He knows that Minchul has to build a proxy base, and his game sense was tingling. Now it's going to take down these gateways here on the middle before units are spawning. He's also taking down the entire base here from Minchul, loading more units down on the low ground here next to those gateways and securing himself low ground advantage. Stasis comes down there, so he should have stasis the vessel, I think. Yeah, he just leaves the game. Probably called the GG there on Discord, because they always play together. Well, they always talk together when they're in Discord, when they're playing 1 versus 1. And Mong wins this one extremely convincingly. This was extremely convincing. Minchul was just always 2 steps behind on Mong, and Mong was always 3 steps ahead of him. Doing everything exactly correct and by the book. There were no super flashy, huge fights, but this was a very technical game. A very technical game. Won by Mong, under the name Walmu Mong. That means the score is 1-0, and we're going to game number 2. Both players flip-flop their races. So now we've got Minchul on the Terran and Mong on the Protoss. It should be rather interesting to watch because, well, both players are about equally skilled. Mong has an interesting Protoss. It's very different from Minchul's Protoss. Likewise, Minchul's Terran is a little bit different from Mong's Terran. Both players have their own little ways of optimizing and personalizing how they play these races, so it should be interesting to see. What is Mong going to do? And more importantly, what is Minchul going to do? That's also a very important point to watch here. What is Minchul going to do? Starts off with a barracks at 8, which might spell some bad news for Mong, because Mong is going for a Dragoon build order, it appears, because he went for a gas into a gateway. And if Minchul scouts the top spot here, right after he finishes that barrack, life might become very, very difficult for Mong unless he gets those Dragoons out just in time. He has to wait for the gateway to finish, Cybercore to finish, and Minchul is already scouting, but he actually goes cross-map. He wants to scout the middle to see if there's something there or not. There's nothing there, but it does make life harder for him. Also scouts the middle top spot first instead of the corner spot, which gives Mong even more time to get his stuff up and running. Although he knows that Mong's on the top spot, so now he's going to turn around and go towards this spot. But first he's chasing that probe around, which might not be the smartest choice here. But then again, Minchul does not know what Mong is up to. If he did, he wouldn't be running those Marines around. He would instead be attacking, because Dragoons are already on the way here. And you would want to disrupt the mining before the Dragoons are out, to buy yourself a little bit more time and get yourself in a more favorable position. But Dragoon range on the way, Dragoons on the way, Zealot on the way here in the front. The Marine there in the back goes down. Marine exchanges some fire with the Zealot, but it's pretty much only one-way firing. And it looks like he's going to turn around and run to base. Or is he not? No, he's building a bunker here in the front. He's going to go for a contain on Mong, which is very, very ballsy here. He's going to lose his Marines here while he's fighting and exchanging fire with those Dragoons. So the Dragoons are pulling back very slowly because they don't have range yet. So micro is significantly more difficult than it is without, well, with the range. So the Marines are very slowly getting kills on the Dragoons, but the Dragoons are eventually coming out on top, but more Marines are being sent here to the front to be put into bunker. He does kill one of the Dragoons, but it comes at the cost of 4 of his Marines. 5 Marines. He's buying more and more time. He's getting stim upgrade first, not range. He's making 2 more barracks for a total of 5. And yeah, now Mong's going to try to go for the counterattack with his 5 Dragoons. He lost 1 of them, killed 7 Marines, but there's a bunker here in the front. He's going to very, very easily tear through. Although there's a single SCV there repairing the bunker. With his 5 Dragoons in total, and those 5 Dragoons are stronger than the bunker. He has singularity charge finished, and no range upgrade for Minchul. Minchul is just trying to buy himself time. Goes in with the Marines to buy more time, tries to counterattack, but tries to kill the low HP Dragoon there. Very, very, very smart move, but it doesn't succeed, because Dragoons are moved to the back. Strong Dragoons in the front. He's trying to walk around the Dragoons to try and go for a sneak attack, as those Dragoons are going for the attack on him. Not sure whether I agree with that one, because this is pretty much a coin flip here from Minchul. But he gets his Marines there into Mong's base. More Marines here spawning for Minchul. He does have medics on the way as well. He's going for the probes right ahead. Dragoons are pretty much close to spawning. And Mong pulls his probes off the minerals, and now we're fighting on two separate fronts. And he's losing a lot of his probes there to the Marines, but likewise, Minchul pulled his SCVs off the minerals to try and fight and get us round on Dragoons, and he's actually succeeding. He gets us round on Dragoons, which means Dragoons are gonna go down. No, Dragoons are escaping, and I think he killed about 13 probes there from Mong. Dragoons there are also going down in Minchul's base, and Minchul somehow manages to come out alive despite staring down 6 Dragoons there in the front, because Dragoons were pulled back to try and save this very nasty situation Mong found himself in. He added on an extra nexus to try and boost his economy, adds a fort there as well for defense, and Minchul now trying to be the aggressor here, but there's 5 Dragoons with range, and Mong can micro them really well. This is going to come down to pure micro from these two players. He goes in with his Terror Brigade, and he tries to stim down one of the Dragoons before they can attack. Has to line them up first. More Dragoons, well, more Marines are spawning. Medics are helping with the healing. Marine range has finished for Minchul. Mong goes in. Mong sort of steps backwards, waiting for more Dragoons to arrive on the scene. This is going to be a very difficult battle here for both players, because both players cannot make any mistakes. And that's his first mistake there from Mong. But Minchul does lose 2 Marines, but more Marines are on the way because he made 5 barracks. Very smart, and he is pretty much being the aggressor here, trying to take down those Dragoons. He gets some Dragoons down there. 2 more Dragoons have come down, trying to get number 3 there as well, but loses a lot of Marines in the process. And cannons being built there in the front. And Minchul, instead of fighting the Dragoons, goes to stop the choke from finishing, because he went in with the fire bat to try and scout and hit the probes. You'll have to look at both things at the same time here. Firebats is just running in circles to try and distract him from focusing on the fight here. Alright, the Firebat went down. The choke has also been cancelled there. And now Mong's Dragoons are caught in between Marines, medics, and more Marines coming from the base. This is one of the most interesting Terran versus Protoss I've ever seen. Like, this is what can happen at the highest level of fastest map, 1 versus 1. The Terran all of a sudden is no longer the punching bag. The Terran is the one dishing out the damage. This was an insane match. I've got no idea what was happening. It was beautiful to behold, and Minchul's game sense here really showed. His experience really showed. He just knew exactly what to do, made no mistakes, and just went for it. This is honestly the single best performance I've seen against a Dragoon build order by a Terran. I am mega impressed. And so we proceed into game number 3 between Mong and Minchul. The score is 1 win for both players, and we have once again swapped races. We have Mong here on the brown Terran on the middle left of the map, whereas we have Minchul here on the orange Protoss on the top middle of the map. The last 2 games were very exciting, and there's no Protoss win yet, only Terran wins so far. And both players have shown some of the best decision making I've seen from players on fastest map in a long time. This is without a doubt the reason why both these players are within the top 5. You could even argue within the top 3, right behind only Brain. Like, it feels like I'm watching Brain with these 2 players, with how they're making their choices, how they're microing and macroing. It's just so, you wouldn't ever expect these things to happen that we're seeing. You just wouldn't expect them, but once they're happening, they just appear so logical, like as if it's the most logical thing one would do, but it's so far-fetched at the same time. So Minchul going for 2 gateways into a Nexus and a Forge into a Simulator's build order, which is going to put some pressure here on Mong, who discontinued his Marine production to make the command center, but continues his Marine production rather quick upon seeing those 2 Zealots, because he knows more Zealots are on the way here from Minchul. Minchul going to add some cannons here into the front, 1 cannon actually, and 4 Zealots there to defend his cannon. Bunker coming down here from Mong to keep Minchul out, or to have a structure to micro around. Of course, you can also put Marines in the bunker, which keeps them alive, so you don't even have to micro them to begin with. Nonetheless, the Marines around it are going to get microed, and Minchul's just going to ignore the bunker and try to go for the Marines around it, and then goes straight for the SCVs as he passes through. That's going to disrupt Mong's mining by a little bit. He pulls his SCVs to safety. Minchul is trying to get us around. He gets one SCV down. Going to try to go for a second one. That's building the command center there. No, he's just going to run away, buy himself more time and be annoying. Gets the Marine. Yeah, he gets the Marine. Loses the Zealot. Micro there for both players is pretty great. Zealot micro might appear easy, but it's actually rather difficult because you also have to predict what the Terran is going to do with their micro, which is rather difficult. Eventually you get a feel for it, but it can be rather difficult because if you try to micro in a direction that the Terran is not going, you're going to hurt yourself because you will be unable to get any damage down on those Marines. Anyway, so now we have a Citadel of a Doom coming in for Minchul here. We've had a robo in the front, not one but two, timed just perfectly so that once the shuttle finishes, you'll have both his reavers about synced up. At least that's what I'm gonna say, but these are built a little bit too close to each other in terms of timing. One cannon there in case there's fire bats somewhere in the base, but there's no fire bats. Factory going down here for Mong. He moves his command center just a little bit. And Minchul tries to fish for an opening once again, but finds no opening because Mong is a person who can respond very quick, micro his Marines expertly, and prevent anything from happening. So both players in a bit of a stalemate here. And Minchul is just, well, progressing into his plan of attack, which appears to be Dark Templars because there's no support bay on the map. Well, it's there now, but there was no support bay. I believe he's going for Dark Templars before going for anything else. There's the two Dark Templars, adds some two gateways, and making a single shuttle, no reavers, because he still hasn't finished the support bay. So one of the giveaways is that if a person makes a Templars archive before the support bay, you know Dark Templars are going to be coming up next. If it's the other way around, it's going to be two reavers with a shuttle. And Zealot speed, of course. So you've got Psionic Storm on the way, Shuttle Speed on the way as well. We've got Siege Mode on the way for Mong, who's now finished his factory and adds on a second one, has a starport finished there as well, and is adding on a lot of turrets on his sides, spaced out just perfectly fine, where they can cover every single area that Minchul can fly through, except this portion here, but he's going to plug that up real quick soon. Zealots are in the front, Dark Templars are loading inside of Mong's base, and this is where it's going to become nasty. Although he can detect them because his turrets are spaced out pretty well. He has no scan energy, but he's only 2 energy away. But Minchul is being smart and splits up his Dark Templars. He gets a scan down on one of them, but the other one stays alive. He has no scan left, so he's going to lose some of his SCVs there. He's building 2 turrets at the same time, trying to distract the Dark Templar from killing the SCVs that are building the turrets. But I think Minchul is just going to go for SCVs here. Although the Dark Templar there gets stuck, is forced to run away down to the bottom side where there's more turrets where, well, it gets spotted out. There was nothing much Minchul could do anymore because every single portion of Mong's base is surprisingly covered by a turret. Even this starport here, I think it's covered just enough by this one and that one. So everything works out just fine for him. Minchul did distract Mong for a little while, and he's still on schedule, so to speak, although it's going to be difficult to... It's more difficult to get things done now, because the first shuttle attack with 2 Weavers would happen at about 6:30 or 6:20, so he is delayed in that respect by a little bit, but he has 4 shuttles here, all loaded up with Zealots and Templars, and Dark Templars as well. Loads up a couple more, and he's going to look for an opening here within these rows of turrets, and I think he's going to find this little opening there and try to abuse that one, or he's going to just go in here over corner over those 2 turrets, which is not the smartest choice, but it's better than all the other alternatives except for this hole here. He gets his Zealots there on the low ground, gets his Temple low as well, storms a couple of Marines there. A lot of Marines are going down there and didn't get microed by Mong, and he doesn't actually achieve all that much. He has his Zealots there on the bottom. Oh, wait, the trick drop, he gets no kills. No kills with the Templar. No kills even though he had the trick drop there. There's still a Dark Templar there in the mix. But Templar's gonna try to get some kills here. Gonna get on top of the tank, kills the tank, but Marines already arriving on the scene. A very good trick drop there from Minchul. A lot of distraction happening there that's keeping Mong busy. Also, Zealots already being unloaded here on the side to kill those turrets. Once again, drawing Minchul towards the side and keeping him busy while he's loading up a second drop there once those shuttles finish up. But first, he's gonna keep disrupting with those Zealots, keep killing turrets there on the side, and hopefully kill some tanks and Marines as well. Basically being a pain in the ass. Mass Zealots coming in through the front. Both bunkers are empty, but he's going to get on top of the bunkers, and he's just going to run in, ignore the bunkers, ignore the tanks that are in the front as tanks are sieging up, so he has to unsiege them first before he can move, and he goes straight for the depots here on the bottom side. He's not going to kill the Marines, which would have been a great choice, because tanks are not supporting the Marines, but he's going to go for the Marines in the end, and kills a lot of Marines there. A lot of Marines going down here from Mong. His supply count is pretty much being stagnated at around the 80 to 90 mark. Whereas Minchul keeps scaling up. Drop comes in from the side he just cleared out. He's gonna fly all the way to the minerals. Mong doesn't have his workers hot. Oh, he jumps right into the storms with his SCVs. Very unfortunate there from Mong. Great storms from Minchul, knowing exactly where to storm, seeing direction the SCVs were headed. And it looks like Mong calls the GG after 9 minutes and 30 seconds. And despite the delayed drops from Minchul, he very quickly, very expertly escalates the game into its next stage, keeps his macro up in an amazing manner. He's been building his entire base while dropping and attacking and microing his units. And of course producing as well, so he's played this very well with great target selection, top side, bottom side, base, top side, bottom side, main, repeat, rinse and repeat, and very slowly crawl forward closer to the victory. So now we have a 2-1 score for Minchul. He finally wins the Protoss, which he couldn't do before, and which Mong also couldn't do before. And so the series continues. Let's see what's gonna be next. I think it's gonna be Mong on the Protoss. And, well, no, it's Mong on the Terran on the bottom corner of the map here. He wants to play Terran once again. He wants to redeem himself and win with the Terran, knowing that it's his best race and he has the highest chance of winning on the Terran. Now, Minchul here right above him with the Protoss. Probably his best race on fastest map, although you could argue his Terran is just as good and his Zerg is not that far behind. It all comes down to his game sense, basically. His game sense is all that matters here. Alright, I'm gonna speed up the first 2 minutes, because I forgot to speed up the game, so he goes for the 8-10 barrack, as is standard and tradition. Pretty much, you will always see this happen in every single game. He places his barracks kind of very far away from his command center. There's a lot of space in between, not sure if I'm a fan of that one. But I like to build more compact, so you have an easier time microing your units around your barracks and back to your command center. Less wide open space for the Zealots to get a surround on the Marines. Anyway, Marine here arriving inside Minchul's base. But he already has Zealots out, he doesn't have a command center added on. He's going for a very low economy build order here, although now he's adding on the Nexus. Marine here arrives on the scene. Marine's gonna try to get a kill on the probes, but he's just gonna run away. He's trying to block the Marine with the probe. Is probe microing there, A moving while attacking while moving with the probe. And Marines here arriving in the front, take down the cannon while it was distracting with the SV and the Marine. Expert move there from Mong, very smart. And he walks away, stays on the middle there, and is just gonna keep distracting with the SV while building a command center in his main. And sending SCVs into the middle of the map to try and start a fight with all of his Marines that are arriving on the scene, trying to fight this cannon and the Zealots. Is this gonna work or not? Gonna have to wait for this SCVs though. He's being a little bit greedy, but SCVs are arriving on the scene here. He's moving them into the base of Minchul, and this is where we're gonna see the expert Protoss, I assume, but that's the cannon is finishing up. He was a little bit too late, and Zealots are getting on top of the Marines, and the Marines are being forced back, and Mong was just a little bit too late. He mistimed it. That's disastrous. He mistimed it and slows himself down significantly for pulling 5 SCVs off his minerals and losing a couple of Marines there. He slows himself down. But do remember, Minchul went for a delayed +1 Nexus, which also means that Mong could somewhat afford to send those SCVs here out into the middle, because Minchul's economy is slowed down as well. Not by much, but by a little bit. And now Mong is going to catch up because his own command center has finished, although he has 6 SCV there on the gas. Likewise, 6 probes here on the gas for Minchul, although it might be more. Nope, it's 7. 8. He's got 8 here. No, 9. It's 9. My bad. Because of course he's 3 simulators. I just was under the assumption he didn't put 9 on there. But he did in fact put 9 on there. So Citadel of Adun on the way. No robotics facility coming out for Minchul, although he might throw it down right here, right now. There it is. He might throw down the second one as well. So a Citadel, 2 robos, and a frontal attack coming out from Minchul because he knows he killed some Marines there, and he knows that Mong likes to go for a +1 command center, so he tries his luck and goes for the exchange, goes for the fight, gets on top of the Marines. Marines are being marked up pretty well, but the Marines are getting stuck here. He's splitting up his Marines, so he's trying to split up the Zealots and try to micro around the bunker, but he's gonna... This is a pretty nasty situation that Mong has found himself, and medics have finished up. Now it's gonna come down to the expert migrate. Kills the SV building the factory, kills most of the remaining Zealots there as well. Marines now have the upper hand. He's gonna try to kill more SCVs here, try to get as much damage down as he can. Attacks an SCV, SCV runs away, medic is healing the SCV so it stays alive. Zealot there in the back, will it kill the SCV? SCV went down, Zealot goes down as well, but Mong was prepared to sacrifice that one SCV. Because he can miss it, basically. So a turret coming down in the front to stop Dark Templars. We have a Templars Archive here on the way for Minchul. We've got Robo number 3 there as well, and he's making mostly Zealots. I think Dark Templars are going to be queued up next. We're support bay also being built here. Marines being put into... Well, being put on drop interception duty. He throws on a scan as well. Where did he scan? He scanned on top of the Nexus. And he saw the tech. So he knows there's a Templars Archive. He knows there's probably Dark Templars or regular Templars on the way. Otherwise, the Templars Archive would be delayed. Shuttle finishes up. He didn't kill the second and his third shuttle. He's going for 2 Reavers first. So that's definitely going to be a frontal attack here from Minchul. Followed up by Storm Drops. At least that's what I predict. Because he has Zealot speed here on the way, which will coincide and overlap with the Reavers spawning. And he'll move his Reavers here to the front, Zealots as well, and tear through the depots there in the front with his Reavers outside of tank range, and then run in with the Zealots to try and get more stuff done. 4 barracks here for Mong. Quite unusual for a corner spot. Most of the time they do it with 3, and they go for more raids and tanks because there's only 2 directions the enemy can come from with their shuttles instead of 3 or 4 or 5. As on a middle spot, because you've got this side, this side, this side, that, and that. 6 sides in total that a shuttle can come from. And here's pretty much just the side and the side. Hence, you need less Marines to defend against those shuttles. Who smartly puts the tank there up in the front, moves them back now because he wants to keep them alive from the Scarab shots. And he's just gonna let Minchul tear through all these bunkers and depots there in the back, although now he has some great fire on the Reavers with the tanks, and Minchul decides to retreat, knowing that after he made a hole there, Mong is going to move all of his units here to the front. Mong has a dropship ready. He's going to go for a drop here on the minerals. Is he going to get this done or not? This is going to be the time of the truth, the hour of truth. He unloads. Ooh, a little bit too close. Doesn't get a kill on the probes. He's going to try again from a different angle. Unloads. Siege is up, but there's no probes remaining here except those 2. Kills one of them, but Zealot's already arriving on the scene to clear out the remaining tank there. Gonna try to pick it up, try to save it before it dies, and it dies just a little bit too quick. So now Minchul decides to use the Zealots he wanted to attack with for a mass drop. I'm gonna drop here on the side. There's only 3 turrets there, no Marines there in between the shuttles and destination. Marines are moving now, though, because Mong knows shuttles are on the way. Goes in, snipes a shuttle. Shuttle, actually, one of them goes down. One with the Reaver went down, so now we... Oh, there's a Templars here in the mix as well, but this time around. Mong hotkeyed his SCVs, but he kills a lot of units here though with the Templars. Great Storms are coming down with the Templars on top of the Marines, and he forces all the SCVs there to run away. A lot of lost mining time here from Mong, who's only 28 minerals. Archon is on the way, it's spawning. Zealot is clearing out the Marines, are all over, but the Archon goes down, Zealot goes down as well, and Mong stays alive for now. We have more tech progression coming out here from Minchul. 2 more forges, Stargate there of course and he's building more gateways because he needs more gateway units to keep facilitating and continuing the spam of shuttle drops. Mong of course will have to defend. He's got a science facility here. He's going for a covert ops, so we're going to be seeing ghosts and very small chance of nukes. But real low, still a single Templar in there, gets a storm up. No, this Templar got sniped. Expert defending here from Mong, but he does lose a lot of Marines, and a lot of Zealots here are still wreaking havoc. But I think he's got this, because he made a small little bottleneck for those Zealots to have to walk through, where Zealots can only attack a single Marine at a time, and then clears out the remainder of his base with some great control, and pretty much just stimming his units into the enemy. Archons being morphed here, shuttles are on the way. He's going to have to wait for 2 waves of shuttles, I think. Maybe he's going to go for a 3 shuttle drop. I think he's going to add another rowboat because he wants to have waves of 4 shuttles. There it is, wave of 4 shuttles. It's always a little bit better than waves of 3 shuttles because now he can only load up, I think, about 12 Zealots in total. Oh, he's going to go for a frontal drop instead. He's not going to go for the drop on the command center. Unloads behind enemy lines and tears through the depots there in the front as well, while clearing out units there behind the bunker line. And this is actually a really expertly executed drop here. Frontal attack there has been successful. Now he has free access into Mong's space. Mong has a tank there up on the hill. He likes to abuse that little thing. So Minchul moves away from the hill and instead goes for a fight away from the hill against these Marines. But there's a lot of Marines there, but medics as well. And medics are blocking access to the Marines, but the Archon there in the back though might get some real damage down on the... Wait, is that... Nope, that's not a real drop. Okay. So basically just a normal fight there of Zealots, gateway units against Marines, stimming, running into each other, trying to kill each other, but not achieving much. So he has the command center for his nuke finished up. He's got Ghosts, he's got Ocular Implants and Cloak on the way or finished, I think, or he might still have to queue them up. Scout there on the hill trying to kill the tank on the hill, but doesn't succeed because there's turrets behind the hill and the Scout doesn't have that much range. So another mass drop here being loaded up. This time he's going for just regular Templars and mostly Reavers and Zealots. He's going to try to fly in from the bottom side here. But Mong has some vision there on the side, so he will be able to respond, but will he be able to respond in time? That is the question we are posed with. In he goes, Marines are moving down, Marines are going to try to snipe some shuttles, 1 shuttle of them goes down, but 4 shuttles there arriving on the scene of focus, and he gets a couple of SCV kills there, but most SCVs there have run away, but all of these Marines here are stuck and cannot arrive on the scene. It means he's going to take down the command center here with those Zealots and the Reaver there in the back, storms a couple of Marines, and now the repair's going to have to come down from Mong, but don't think he's going to be in time. I think he's going to get some SCV kills there with the Reaver shot, and the command center once again goes down. Mong hasn't had much success with keeping his command center alive in this series. Great play there from Minchul, and I think it was mostly facilitated by this science facility blocking Mong's access to the back here, which gave Minchul a lot of free time, a lot of time to basically just do what he wanted to do, which is kill the command center and kill units on the low ground. Still a couple of shuttles here up on the... well, nothing in there. So tanks being loaded up onto the hill, and as you can see, Minchul cannot build in this area, although now another drop comes in from Minchul, flying over the tanks, flying over Marines. Marines are sniping shuttles, 2 shuttles go down, no, 1 shuttle goes down, the other shuttle, right, he has to change direction and load here on the side, and there's... the Reaver goes down instantly. So great awareness and reaction there from Mong, manages to keep his SCVs there in the back alive. Manuke is on the way, and I think the Ghost is somewhere here on the side, or did it die? There it is, there's the Ghost. Level 2 weapon upgrade for Mong on a Marine. Smart play there. Shuttle flies into his death because it's accidentally queued up and rallied towards the base. That explains why we have been seeing shuttles flying into their death for no reason over the past couple of minutes. So every single upgrade for ground gateway units on the way. He's only in 112 and he will be on 223 very soon. Zealots are trying to clear out the ground. Pulls them back. He doesn't want to lose them to tank fire from the hills. Minchul, you're gonna have to do something big very soon. He's loading up rather well with his mass shuttle drop. His gateway count is a little bit low, but then again, he's forced to fight against hill tanks here. He's gonna try to clear out that one and then run away. He really needs carriers against this one. He already has interceptor capacity on the way. He's gonna load a mass drop here on the bottom side of Mong's base. Lockdown comes down on the Reaver. The Reaver is rendered ineffective, which is actually going to make this very easy to defend for Mong, because now the Reaver cannot kill all those stacked Marines here. But the Archon is going to try to do it instead, but the Archon there are going to go down very quick as well, although it's actually really tanky. Look at this. Alright, it went down pretty quick. I thought it was just tankier than it was. Once again, Shuttle there flies into his death. Shuttle lost. Nuke is going to come down here as well. He's going to have to use his Observer. Move quick, move quick, move quick, move quick, move quick. Where's the ghost? Where's the ghost? He can't find the ghost! The ghost is right there, right outside of your vision. Oh my god. Oh my god. And there it comes. He was so close to finding the ghost. All he had to do was move a little bit to the side and he would have killed the ghost with his Dark Templar, but he didn't see it. Wait, what's this? Oh my, no way. Well, he didn't get that many kills, but he got some kills. I think about 10 or maybe even less than 10, maybe 8 or 9. But the Templar makes his way through, but Mong dodges just in time. So we're just gonna keep... Right, finally the Observer finds the ghost and he realizes how close he was to finding it. Sometimes he just takes a little bit of bad luck. Great lockdown, oh my god, that lockdown was amazing. Prevents the Zealots from reaching the ghost there. So yeah, he's forced to pull his probes away from the minerals, and Mong is just gonna go for full-on abuse here. There's a wave of... There's no shuttles on the way. He doesn't have shuttles. He has one shuttle here, but he's being taken down by the ghost very, very slowly, 3 damage at a time. But he is somewhat managing to clear out these units here, so he is getting some progress here. He's managing to somewhat keep himself alive, but Marines there arriving on the low ground as well to kill the Zealots there. Nuke is on the way, almost finished. Marines here are actually doing a great job of distracting. Ghost here in the back, has no energy for Cloak. So down it goes, and it looks like, well, more ghosts have finished, so I wanted to say it looks like he is safe for now, but there's also still the threat of tanks killing probes, but at least he's mining once again. He finished up some shuttles here, but I don't think he wants to waste those shuttles on a drop, but a drop might just be what he needs. We were there crawling because he got rallied into the base, the same robo that is making the shuttles that were flying in. Ghost is there on the scene. Nuke has finished. He has no Observer here. Observer flying into his death. No, what are you doing? Oh, drop comes in. He gets some beautiful storms off, but the storms mostly miss most of the SVs, although he gets a pretty good shot there in the end. So 30 SVs left there for him. He's trying to find the ghost, but he can't find the ghost because the ghost is right there. Nuke comes down on the cannons and the necklace, but none of the probes go down, but only 21 probes are left alive. He does have carriers now, which are going to try to clear out these tanks here up on the hill, but I think Mong is going to use his ghost with lockdown to lock down those carriers. More units here loading on the low ground. He's going to kill the nexus there with the tanks. Boom, down it goes. Probes also have to run away from the tanks because tanks have siege mode, and bam, down go the probes. I honestly don't think Minchul can win this. He's pretty much done. He's done. It's pride that is preventing him from leaving. He lost pretty damn hard here. Yeah, this is the game. Lockdown comes down as well. On the carriers would have been rendered ineffective. He had only 2 ghosts in there, but that's 2 lockdowns, only 3 carriers, and then there's only 1 carrier left, which is not going to make a difference whatsoever. So yeah, Mong played this one really well, and there's... yeah. So the score ends 2-2. I didn't expect a 2-2 end score. Maybe there was a 5th game. I don't know, because I don't have the replay. I only have 4 replays. There's no replay number 5. Do note I got these from Luckyback's autosave, so maybe that is why. Maybe Luckyback did not observe the final game. Maybe he watched it on their streams. I don't know. It's just that I don't have a 5th game. I only have 4. That's why we cannot get a conclusion on this set. Other than that, both players played amazingly well. Very expertly. Very smart. They made Terran look so much stronger than anyone else makes it look. And they didn't even do outrageous micro stuff or mass stuff. They just played a very technical, fast-paced game with non-stop movements to try and get an advantage and try to abuse the opponent. A lot of small details here. A lot of small details and multitasking. And a very high pace. Yeah, that's the series. Got nothing else to add. Hope you enjoyed it. And come back again for another video sometime in the near future.